Hi there. My name's Craig. And Craigs don't seem to get a lot of respect from the general population. I should know that for as long as I can remember. My name's been Craig, so I should know something about it. I haven't really experimented with calling myself something else. The only really big thing that's come up lately has been that my wife orders Starbucks online, and then we go to pick it up, and they put your name or something on the cup, and they'd put Deborah on her cup, and they didn't know what to put on mine, so they named me Mr. Deborah. So now I get a rousing welcome from the Starbucks crowd every day when I come in, Mr. Deborah. But that's probably not a permanent solution to the whole respect thing. Take, for instance, TV characters. Okay, if you have a TV character named Craig, there's only 3 possibilities of what that character is going to be like. Number 1, they're probably going to be a bully. Number 2, perhaps someone who's really weak and pathetic and is bullied a lot. Or number 3, a serial killer, an unsuccessful serial killer at that. That really doesn't do us any good either. Craig comes from the Scottish Gaelic language that means rock. Okay, that's fine, but it could be handsome or noble, something like that. No, it just means dense. So that's not great. In an effort to try to overcome some of this stereotype, I took one of those home DNA tests. Now, I'll let you know, I studied ahead of time, and I did really good. I got a 97%, which is an A or an A plus. There's nothing to sneeze at. I am 97% more Neanderthal DNA than the rest of the world. So that just goes to show for our natural intellect. Even technology looks down on Craig's. I have an iPhone, and if I sign my first name to the end of a text, my phone has the habit of autocorrecting almost every time to either crap, crazy, crying, crash, craving, or crack. Take your pick. Don't get no respect. There's one thing I think that I and other older men have in common is that we are very helpful. We have advice and experience we want to share. Now, this was different when I was younger. Take, for instance, one of my first jobs in construction is I would measure for garage doors to be installed in new homes. So there'd be a big opening in the front of the house, and you'd have to measure with a tape measure the width and the height. And I did this all day. It was mentally challenging, not easy to measure up for a job like this. And the whole industry of garage doors had its ups and downs. So it was something to deal with. Now, what I had to happen, I would have the tape out across the concrete, and I'd look up, and there'd be some 60, 65-year-old guy with his foot stomped down on the dumb end of the measuring tape. And they're all hard of hearing then, so I'd have to ask a couple times, "Excuse me, sir, could you get your foot off the end of my measuring tape so I can finish my job?" I mean, there'd be some guy, they would be driving by, it wouldn't be their house. They'd jump out of their pickup in the middle of the street and leave it running to run over and stomp on my measuring tape, thinking they were being real helpful. Well, not really. But now that I am that age, it has completely changed over the decades. I don't know how this happened. But now, myself and others are standing by with sage advice. Take, for instance, something we had happen recently. We had a leak under the kitchen sink, so we called in a plumber. Now, we had it all scheduled, and for some reason, my wife comes up with this important errand, like 20 miles away. It couldn't wait. And I'm going, honey, I've got to be here for this plumber, okay? If he or she needs help, I want to be here. I don't know how it seems like there's always some job that has to be done somewhere whenever somebody's working on something around the house. So anyway, I wanted to be there to stand by to help. Now, I used to do the plumbing around the house. It's a difficult job, but I had to give it up, though. I just ran out of creative swear words, so we have to hire it now. So anyway, young fella's here with his head under the kitchen sink. Okay, and I'm thinking, how can I help him? I tried to get under there with him, but it didn't seem like there was enough room. So I'm standing there, and what can I do? How could I help him? And I figured, well, it was like a light went over my head. He could use more light under there. Perfect. Okay, well, how can I do that? And this is where I'll admit I ran into a little bit of trouble, not really thinking this through, but how can I get him more light? I figured at the time I would turn on the overhead light that's over the sink, and he's under the sink, but there was really only one problem. There was something between him and that overhead light, the sink. Okay, I should have thought more about that. But I felt compelled to help. Now, you would think after living in this house for 10 years that maybe it could be expected that I would have a clear handle on which switch went to the overhead light by the sink and which switch went to the garbage disposal, which is like 2 inches from the guy's head. My bad. You know, it's hard to figure. It seems like plumbing jobs have gotten so expensive lately. A lot more than you'd think. Lately, there's a lot of talk about AI and robots taking over the world. Actually, I think this is coming true, but it's happening gradually so we don't notice it. Take, for example, a simple piece of technology like a rotating microwave oven. I have studied scientifically that there's no way you can put food in the front of the microwave oven and have it return to the front of the microwave oven. It's always going to be in the back. My seat at the breakfast table is in front of the microwave oven that's on the counter behind me. It would be real handy if I could put food in the microwave, punch so many seconds without getting out of my chair, and have it come back to where I could reach it. It never happens. It's always in the back of the microwave oven. Not real handy. Technology actually is just trying to drive us crazy. And there's not going to be any war with the robots. Technology now is just trying to irritate us to death. We will have given up before there's any war with the robots. We will have surrendered years before that. Take fitness watches. Please take fitness watches. My wife has one, and we had a trip to the hardware store. Got back, we went in, came back to the parking lot. My wife informed me that trip had cost her 15 calories. I've got no idea what that looks like. We've recently got her a phone fitness watch, and those things are so insidious. There are rings that you have to close before you can even go to bed at night. There's walking rings, exercise rings, standing rings, calorie rings. I swear there is an obedience ring that she has to close before she go to bed. It's crazy. The exercise watch overlords are looking at every move you make if you're wearing one of those things. They're so bossy. We were sitting the other night watching TV, and my wife jumps up out of her chair and says, I got to get up. I've got to walk 37 calories. What does that look like? Okay, 37 calories. I guess that's more than 2 trips to the hardware store, but it's raining and it's pitch black outside. Besides, it's late. The hardware store is closed. How do we do this? I am trying to avoid falling into the clutches of the tyrannical technology overlords. I'm not falling for it. But what we've got to watch for are the seemingly innocuous little pieces of technology that work together to achieve dominance without us even knowing it's happening. Think about vehicle fobs for a minute. Now, guys, an aside, I wear blue jeans all the time. And the last 10 or 15 years, I've always worn the same size of blue jeans, but they're making them tighter because the jeans are getting tighter and tighter every year, but I don't know why this is happening. I think there's technology involved in making blue jeans, so that's probably part of it. But what I'm thinking of specifically is I put my key fob in the front pocket of my blue jeans. So I'm out in the garage, getting ready to get in my pickup. And before I get in, I drop something on the garage floor. So I bend over to pick it up off the garage floor, and my truck starts honking at me just to make me jump. Somewhere there's a fitness watch laughing at me real hard. Hi folks, hope you've enjoyed and liked the first video in my series of videos that will cover the past 70 plus years of my sometimes crazy life. I hope this is a journey that you'll join me on, that you'll subscribe and leave me comments because I would enjoy hearing from you. Thank you.